All right, so our next topic, we're going to be talking about League of Legends, the updates on the games that happened this past weekend, and we're going to be spotlighting a very exciting game from the LCK this past weekend. So let's get to it. No dilly-dallying. Here we go. League of Legends.
Sure.
What happened this weekend?
LCS. No problem.
LCS
Doesn't
North America.
matter in the LCS. Okay? It was awesome. It's fine. The LCS was fine. It like legitimately doesn't matter compared to this Academy game. It was fine.
It's fine.
It was fine.
We see a 3-0 from 100. We see a 3-0 from 100 Thieves over Dignitas, which we kind of saw was going to happen with the records going into this playoff bracket. And then we got FlyQuest 3-1ing NRG. NRG Kia kind of surprisingly taking a round off of a map off of FlyQuest. Is that an actual surprise or like a surprise?
That's FlyQuest.
That's just FlyQuest?
That's yeah. Even when they're doing, click on FlyQuest real quick. I wanted to see who played for them again. I don't remember exactly who played over the weekend. Well, let's see.
More specifically, there we go. Here we are.
It was like Masu,
Arrow.
yeah, and Inspired, Flippo, and everything like that. Yeah, like it's just like an MO of like a joking MO of FlyQuest, where like even if they're doing well, they just have a chance to just throw a game away for like no reason. So it's not like, it's like understandable. Like as far as like my feelings are concerned of, FlyQuest just in general. Yeah. Just fine. It's fine. They lost the game. Fine, doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't. No, it really doesn't. Like the only thing, it doesn't. It does not matter. NRG Kia isn't like, they're not bad teams again. They're not bad players. It just, some players are just stronger on this patch. Some players are stronger in these combination of players. 100 Thieves did exactly what I thought they were going to do. FlyQuest did exactly what I thought they were going to do.
Right.
Yeah, not too exciting, but it does set up us for like next week of, this is what I was saying last week, right? Is like FlyQuest just has to not pick up the bad habits that they might have done to throw that game against NRG. 100 Thieves is looking, strong 3-0 against Dignitas. Maybe they're feeling themselves, and they're going to go in and say, listen here, Honda, like you got no gas. Boom, kicks them out. You never know. Right? Like never know when it comes to this sort of thing.
That is absolutely.
Yeah, that's not what I'm hoping for, but these are my two favorite like teams that are fighting each other. So like I love 100 Thieves. I love Team Liquid. So it's going to be interesting. But overall, I think Team Liquid's going to walk away with a 3-1. I like maybe a 3-2, but like Heart of Hearts probably says like 3-2 is probably what the actual thing is going to be. Team Liquid wins. And then I think Cloud9 is just going to pub stomp FlyQuest, to be honest, with like a 3-0.
I know that's the one I'm looking at. I think it's going to be the more interesting kind of, because FlyQuest might not have the drive, but they might just be pushing for the prize money for this tournament, this playoff run. Going against Cloud9, it's probably going to be the more competitive match. This split, Team Liquid was 7-0 versus NRG Kia being 2-5. 100 Thieves, I think, were also like in the negative. I think they were 3-4. But either way,
they were in the pack.
Yeah, you got a middle of the pack team versus the top team. Statistically, it looks like it's going to be Team Honda taking the win, likely. But I'd love to see 100 Thieves make a competition out of it, or take the win. But the FlyQuest Cloud9 game is going to be the one I'm looking at for sure, and hopefully to see what happens there. It's going to be pretty exciting. My fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah, I think the most exciting games are still yet to come in the losers bracket. I think the losers bracket will have the most exciting games besides like 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid for me. I think that this game will be more exciting for me. Personally, I think it's going to be a little bit closer than it might actually appear on paper.
Right.
For 100 Thieves and everything. But that's where I'm thinking it's a 3-2, and I think it's going to be a 3-0 from Cloud9 personally. But it could be wishful thinking. I could be 100% wrong. who knows?
We'll have to see. We'll have to watch this week, see what's going on. But we have one more close match to go over, and it comes from the LCK. Nick, specifically, you wanted to spotlight this game because you were sweating bullets.
Explain.
You were having a grand old time. So let me bring this over to the thing, set us the stage a little bit better so we can see it, let it load, boom. And then in the background, we just have some of the game footage happening. So set the stage, tell me what happened and why it was exciting.
Hey, Billy here. Wanted to take a quick minute to let you know a few different things. If you enjoyed the video so far, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps us out and it tells the algorithm to share it with more people. You can find the Esports Meta live every week on Twitch and YouTube. It's where we film the podcast or hang out, play games, and chat. If social media is more your vibe, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or Twitter if you use Threads. Does anybody use Threads? This is a video game community that's excited to talk about esports, so jump into the conversation. Of course, you can find more videos like this here on YouTube. Just hit that subscribe button right there or there. Thanks for watching, and let's get back to the show.
All right, so not Team Liquid, T1, right? This is T1 Academy versus Fox. Okay, this is essentially League of Legends Korea minor leagues. Okay. They did not perform the strongest, but they had some really amazing matches throughout the whole entire year. Just T1 in general, right? So setting the stage for this is a playoff match, and in playoffs, these are going to be best of 5, right?
All right.
So first to 3. If we want to say it that way, but it's going to be best of 5. But the really cool thing about this that changes everything is going to be it is a fearless draft. And what is fearless draft? Fearless draft is going to be all champs that are picked in the first game, second game, third game, and fourth game, right? Or sorry, 1, 2, and 3 will be banned no matter what. So if you pick, this is Kai'Sa right here. If you pick Kai'Sa on the first game like they did, Kai'Sa and Rakan can't be picked by anybody going forward for the next 3 games at the very least.
For me to understand, just to make sure I understand that, basically if I pick a hero, nobody else can pick a hero for the rest of the game, rest of the series, right?
Not 100%. So this fearless draft only applies to the first 4 games.
Okay.
The 5th game, because of how many champs would be banned, right? Like almost 25% of the champions in the game would be banned at this point.
Right. So if it goes to a game 5, it resets.
Go to a game 5, it resets, and it's just normal pick ban phase. That's it.
All right.
But so first and last are normal pick ban phases, where the middle 3, you can't pick any champion that's already been played.
Yeah. So what about that pick ban style made this competition so exciting? Because this game did go to a game 5, right?
This did go to spoiler alert, it did go to a game 5 for it, right? And the reason why this is exciting, right? Just for everybody out there listening in general like that, right? It's not easy to get people to watch League of Legends because of the fact that a lot of pros and a lot of coaches are stuck on what works, even when it's not strong. They tend to pick things that they're comfortable with, that they know can work in certain situations, even if they're not the best in the patch. So, a patch happens, they go very cautious with their picks and everything like that.
A lot of comfort picks, you'd say? A lot of comfort picks?
A lot of comfort picks, but it's more of a comfort pick on the overall team comp rather than a person's main, as we call it in League, right? So if you main a character, odds are that the character that you main might not even be worthy in competitive play.
Gotcha. So would you feel like it's more of a strategy thing where it's like teams are picking a comp and that's what they scrim in practice and they try to stick to that?
Yeah, no, because basically what happens because of the pick and ban phase of it all is, you're finding out what doesn't work against your strategy, which kind of lets your opponent know what you're planning to play when you ban certain things so that they can ban accordingly or counter pick accordingly, even if you haven't picked a champion already. So that's really where the head games come in for this. But when you start banning every character that's been played already in a series, the champion pulls on comfort for a lot of coaches and a lot of team players is low. So you get certain picks that just don't happen normally.
Right. In game 2, you can't play the same comp as you played in game 1.
Exactly. You can't play any of those characters. And, also if, someone on the opposing team is really good at Kai'Sa, really good at, Braum, something like that, you can literally just either ban it in those games, because you can still ban any champion that hasn't been picked already.
Right. Okay.
Or you can just pick it in the first game and then just make it so they can never play that character.
Interesting. No, there's a lot of cool strategy with that. So how did the strategy play out in this match? We did spoil and say it went to best of 5. How did the fearless ban system work out here, and what part of that, specifically with these teams was exciting?
It allowed T1 to do a reverse sweep on them.
Oh, yeah?
Basically, yeah. I mean, essentially, that's pretty much what happened. As soon as 20 champions got taken out of the pool of players, plus, and again, it's not even at 20 on the second game, right? Or the third game, sorry. 20 champions have already been picked, 20 unique champions. 10 unique champions have now been banned in that game. So 30 champions are off the table in game 3.
Wow. Out
of 168. That's how crazy this stuff gets. So and then game 4 was literally 50 champions were picked or banned out of that game, out of game 4, right? With 160 champions. So 1/3 of characters were taken up already. And in normal league, most of the time, Cassante right over here, right? If you look to the right, the characters that are lined up against the wall on the right here, Cassante is the top laner on red side, right? He is a very strong pick on a regular basis. When he was extremely strong, he was just constantly picked. There would be matches where you're just, oh, look, Cassante's not banned. They're just picking him again. So this allows for a lot of players, not a lot of players, a lot of viewers to not get bored. Right. And then real crazy stuff happens, because game 4 ends up happening where Jax is a very strong top laner who has a lot of counter picks. But as soon as you play these games like Renekton and Cassante and stuff like that, as soon as these comfort picks or players or champions that are really good against Jax got picked already, Jax just came out blind. It was it's crazy stuff like this. Jax is he's an old character, but he's super he's kind of busted when he gets ahead. A lot of champions are, but his kit overall lends to some cracktastic stuff.
Right, and the power creep of characters, the newer characters to counter him, weren't there anymore. So yeah, that makes it super interesting. And as far as the depth, do you feel like Fox picked their strong suits early and then just couldn't find the strong suit late? Maybe that was a coaching strategy. It's let's just push for the win early and hope for the 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, think about it this way, man. As soon as your best picks, as soon as you win on your best picks, and then you go to middle of the road champions for the most part, and honestly, it's not even really middle of the road, but as soon as you go off the beaten path for what you've been practicing all year round, right? And in your scrims, it gets you kind of get mind fucked a little bit. Not to really curse about it, but literally you kind of get mind gamed in the fact of, damn, we won our first 2 games where we're not really inhibited in any way, right? And then as soon as both teams, the good and the supposed bad team, are both inhibited, the bad team wins. It's definitely going to mess you up. If you're the team that's thinking oh, we're just, T1 hasn't really done much over the season. They're okay. They're not really a top team. And as far as academy is concerned, they've been really struggling throughout the season. You're going to go in, disrespect them a little bit. We beat them 2-0. Going into game 3, they probably got a little loose. And then, they were damn, all right, we just lost. Well, now there's 50 champions that are gone, for game 4. So what are you picking that you're going to win against, right? And now you're in the dumps again, because now you lost at 50 champions gone, thinking you guys were the better players. And then you get uninhibited again and they beat you.
Yeah, I think that's a cool part of this draft system, is that in game 5, if it gets to a game 5, it's mostly reset, right? It's reset back to the champions that were playable earlier. And you're basically going toe to toe. Let me have your best versus my best, and we'll compete in that pick ban phase as well to see what happens. But it's going to be interesting and exciting for Game 5, which is kind of what you want after slogging it out like that.
Yeah, no, and again, this is the most exciting match that I've watched in a really long time. And like, this has like good people in it just in general, right? Even though it's Academy. This is something that I'm actually like, I want to see brought into every single best of 3, best of 5. I don't want to see the same champions anymore. I've hated it already. I've spoke about it on the channel before, where I think like your coaches should be penalized for just having the same thing come out of the woodwork every single week. Like, it's just not good for viewership, which means it's not good for the league, which means it's not good for the esport, which means, you know, it's not good for your pockets. So like, this is just a better thing to happen.
But I'm sure too, there's a degree where coaches and players are worrying about their pockets because, you know, they're professionals. They're trying to maintain professional status and professional money. And, you know, that kind of, they're competitive gamers are going to game. They're going to just go at the thing that they feel works the best, and et cetera. So like putting in these restrictions creates I don't want to say volatile, because volatility can be bad in competitive game, but it creates those moments where it's okay, I'm forcing a coach, forcing a player to push past that, like, I'm just going to pick whatever's, you know, top tier meta mindset, right? I'm going to just use the best tool in the box, where it's like, let me win. Let me get back to the roots of it, and let me just try to win, basically. And like, it sounds like Fearless kind of pushes that. And hopefully, yeah. Who is it? Is it Zach? Is that his name?
Which one? The big green blob?
No, not the champion. The new like director of League Esports.
Oh, Mark Z.
Mark Z.
Yeah,
if you're watching this, if you're out there, you know, take a look at this, consider this as a possibility, because I think there's some really good points to raise here. The limitations that this presents for the pick ban phase might create a better match viewership experience. It might create a better competition. We're seeing in the LCS how 2 and 5 team gets into the playoffs. How does that happen? Why does that work? We were complaining about that last week. And sure, maybe it's because there's only 8 teams in the LCS. It could be a quantity issue, but overall, it still doesn't feel good. So maybe something like this will create more competitive sort of nature, more, even in the best of 3, it might just be interesting to see how it limits teams to put forth better strategies or compile things a little bit more. Look outside the box that they're used to.
Yeah, I mean, like, it also allows for, like, again, there's so many champions, and the way players play this game most of the time is that they have a main. They play, you know, one champion a lot of the time. And just so I can say this right now, Huan is a amazing player. Yo, get the fuck off Gragas, homie. Like, just get off the fat man. Like you can't play the fat man at all, dude. And also, you shouldn't have brought him into the jungle in the first place. He's like not really good in the jungle, but who knows? That could be a part of their mind game for game 1, where they just pick Gragas in the jungle. I'm like, I don't really like seeing Gragas in the top lane either, because people can't play Gragas. They pick him as like a safe pick, and it annoys the cheese out of me. But anyway, that's like the most annoying part of this game. Look at him, and that's like I hate that skin for Gragas. As a person who loves Gragas, that's my favorite champion right there. So anyway,
and we're getting you all riled up about this. Gragas on the loose in the jungle. Any final thoughts while we wrap this up? Because this was a very exciting match. I do like what you're talking about with the Fearless pick ban system, and potentially it could have some really good opportunities in the LCS, our side of the pond, for this game. Any final thoughts with those things?
I like, if anybody at Riot or League or just in general is like listening to this, or they find it in any way, I was negatively impacted by watching how good Fearless Draft was. I'm not even joking. I'm 100% serious. I was negatively impacted with how good Fearless Draft was. I do not want to watch a non-Fearless Draft, to be honest.
All right.
Like 100% honesty. I don't want to watch it, and it negatively impacted my future watching League of Legends. Like, that's how good it was and how entertaining it was.
All right, you heard the man. A pretty bold statement, but I don't think it's an unfounded one. So I'd like to see like some conversation happen about this as well. Tell us what your thoughts are on the Fearless Draft. Do you get a chance to watch it this past weekend on the LCK? Do you see this match specifically of T1 Academy versus Fox? Or what are your thoughts about bringing this into LCS or possibly even comp? I don't see how this could really work in a comp situation, but who knows? Maybe extended series kind of maybe works. But either way, would you like to see this in the LCS? Would you like to see it like my man Nick here, the Gragas main Nick, and fighting for the Fearless pick band style? Let us know in the comments. Hit us up on social media or write if you're watching. Put on a blog. We'd love to hear and see from you.